Hello and welcome back to the channel. So this is it. This is the pre-order day for Epic Battles Hail Caesar. So we actually get to see what's released, how it's going to be released in a bundle, and start making decisions about what we want to pick up, what we want to buy. And so I'm going to go through most of the products, talk about what's available, and actually how it fits into an army, and a few of the thoughts on it as we go. So starting off. First box is the elephants. I'm going to start off with the individual boxes and then build up to the big army sets. So this is what you're getting in a box. Two bases of two elephants with sort of interchangeable heads and stuff, so you can add a bit of variety to them. Elephants go. War Games Illustrated is just showing off some pictures of some conversions they've been doing with the elephants. The next box is called the Carthaginian Division. So what we're getting in there is three bases of sort of Phoenician heavy infantry, six bases of Gallic infantry, three bases of Iberians, two bases of Gallic skirmishers, two bases of Numidian skirmishers, two bases of Phoenician cavalry, two bases of Numidians, six commanders. Now, this is really interesting when we think about bases and units for Hail Caesar. Unlike the other Black Powder games, you don't really have command stands. Certainly, there's no models here. So each base could theoretically be a unit, or two bases could be a unit, or three bases, or six bases could be a unit. It's entirely up to yourself how you want to represent that. Of course, there'll be representations in rules saying probably Carthaginian units will be three bases wider than Romans will be two bases because of the tighter formation. But you've got a bit of freedom to organize that how you want. And I was wondering how many sprues were going to come in the box. It looks like we're getting 4 sprues in a box. This is cool. So one of the questions was asked about painting the shield designs, and there's going to be transfers or decals, if you will. So I am delighted that these are here. It's going to make painting up the miniatures so much easier, and decals just add such a good finish to them. And there you go, that's the box. That's what the packaging is going to look like. So yeah, that's your basic Carthaginian division. Next up is it was going to be called Allied troops. So both the Romans and the Carthaginians used Allied troops. So Carthage, obviously fighting in Spain. Carthage had Holdens, Rome had Holdens. They both used Spanish mercenaries. Generally, though, the Spanish kind of, I said mercenaries, allies kind of sided with Carthage, but Rome used them as well. Rome had Italian allied states fighting for them. When Hannibal invaded Italy, one of his strategies was to try and get the allied states to side with him, and some of them did. So these allies will be fully usable on both sides in various parts of the conflict, depending how historically accurate your scenarios are going to be. And you're going to get 6 sort of Celtic Iberian stands, 6 Italian allied stands, 4 Numidian skirmish boars. Numidians generally fought for the Carthaginians, certainly during the Third Punic War when Scipio invaded uh, the Carthaginian homelands. He was able to convince the Numidians to come inside with him. You're going to get some Balearic skirmish slingers, Ligurian skirmishers, 4 more bases of skirmishers, 4 bases of Celtic cavalry, and 4 bases of Spanish. So actually, I said in another video that if you wanted to do sort of a Spanish army or a Gallic army, there's enough pieces floating around out there to be able to do that. There's Allied troops sprue, and they have a transfer sheet as well. Like I say, it's going to make the shields look stunning. Actually, I was thinking about this. The fact there's big shields on the front of most of the miniatures means there's less surface area to paint. Certainly, there's less cross belts and straps to paint like there is in Napoleonics, which is the most fussiest of all the periods. So actually, I'm expecting these miniatures to paint up really quickly. Anyway, there's a box for those. Next up is the Romans, and I talked about painting miniatures up really quickly. You're looking here at the Hastati, sorry. Um, Shields are covering most of the front. Not a lot of detail on the back in terms of straps and stuff. I think a Roman army will paint up in next to no time, especially again transfers. It's going to look wicked. And one of the things I really liked about this, now we see some of the details of the miniatures, is the Velites have got some of the wolf pelts on them. Lots of people are excited about the elephants. I'm quite excited about painting those wee wolf pelts. The rule book is going to get released on its own, so if you just want to build up slowly and pick up divisions as you go, you can get the rule book. You don't need to get one of the big sets, and that is looking pretty spectacular. There's an interview with one of the authors going around the podcast land where he talks about the book and the background for it and the scenarios that's available. Sounds amazing, including the big battle game of Zama, which was the big granddaddy of the war that ended the War in the Third Punic Wars. This is so there's going to be sort of a Roman army set you could buy, a Carthaginian army set you could buy, and a Hannibal set, which kind of smushes them together. So this is a quick look at the Roman one. This is what you're going to get in it. So it looks like you're going to get two of the Roman divisions boxes, one of the Allied boxes. You also get a rule book, and this fella here, the Scipio Africanus miniature, which is unique to this box, and the Hannibal box. And I'm a sucker for these wee figures. Just got the Montrose Highlander box, or pin Montrose and collar at the moment. And again, we've got the same with the Carthaginians. Hannibal Barca miniature. And that's what you're going to get in it as well. She's looking pretty cool. Now, I was trying to work out the Carthaginian box, and it looks like there's a wee half sprue of Gauls Celts, supporting the launch. So what's probably happened is you've got the presses that make the sprues do a certain size. Elephants are like a half sprue, so this is the half sprue, giving more Gallic options. Perhaps you'll be able to get these wee half sprues on their own and be able to really boost the Gallic army. Throw in some chariots, you maybe be able to do an ancient British army as well. So this is the Hannibal battle set. What's going on here? First off, you've got the two forces. You've got Rome versus Carthage there. It's showing you how many sprues you've got. So 6 of those, 12 of the Roman sprues, 10 of the Carthaginian sprues. But bear in mind, you've got the wee half Celt sprues, and you'll be able to play around with the allied sprues, of which you're getting 6 of them. So that's a good amount of sprues. For elephants, 4 bases of elephants, and there's a wee Celtic sprue there to boost those numbers. You also get a Roman watchtower, or there's a pre-order bonus, which is this poor perished Pachyderm elephant. And also in the Hannibal box set, I don't know any details about it, but there's a Scipio battle game included. So that should be quite interesting as well. So look forward to having a look at that and seeing what that's about. Probably going to get the Hannibal set. I'm trying to decide what else I want on top of that to begin with. This shows the launch collection, one of the big granddaddy collections. And you've got the 2 commander boxes there and the 2 casualty boxes there as well. So we're talking about commanders. These are the commanders coming out for the sets. So we've had them for sort of certainly Napoleonics, the Pike and Shot, and latterly the Manx of War. So we've got 6 commanders, a couple of them on their own, a couple of them with extra models for the base to create wee vignettes, which I really like, and the announcer down there. sort of based on the fella from Rome. One of the highlights of Rome. If you've not watched Rome, the TV series, do so. There's so many wee details of what Roman life was like. Um, there's also another book which is 24 hours in in the day of Rome. So it starts off at 1 hour and follows one character and what they're doing. And each hour, so it's 24 chapters, each hour explores the life of a different character. Sometimes intersect with each other, sometimes they don't. So it starts off with the wagoners bringing in the flour, the baker, then the slave coming to collect the daily bread. Yeah, fascinating stuff. Love Roman history. Mary Beard is doing Mary Beard, not Berry the baker. Mary Beard, the historian, is doing a spoken word tour where she's talking about Rome. I think I'm going to get tickets to go and see that in Glasgow. But anyway, cracking on. So all the major players for the Romans there, and a similar sort of box for the Carthaginians. So obviously, looking there, you've got 6 sort of commanders. Well, the announcer's kind of a bit of fun. So a couple of them are on their own. But each one of the Carthaginians have got their wee attendants. Again, all the major ones. Now you've got variant miniatures for Hannibal and Scipio there as well. Then you've got the casualty markers. So something to notice for or think about for casualty markers for Hail Caesar is unlike pike and shot and black powder, units have a high stamina rating, but you're rolling significantly more dice when you get into close combat. So Carthaginian ones as well. I appreciate how casualty markers um, on the battlefield helps the battlefield look a bit tidier. Generally, the one we're playing, I'll use small dice to record or difficult dice to record stamina losses next to units. And unexpectedly, we have the front half of a Roman marching fort is one of the releases we could buy as well, which would be quite nicely sat at the back of the Roman army on the edge of the board. Certainly, was it Trebia? The Romans set out from a Roman marching fort, cross a river, and get ambushed by the Carthaginians. Just nice table setting. I think there's been some other stuff shown off on socials as well, plus a whole load of other 15 mil kind of ancient terrain you can pick up. And the last thing that's kind of getting released uniquely is a palisade fencing. So this will be to kind of expand out your Roman marching fort if you want longer walls. I think the sort of 2 of the front sections or 4 of the front sections with a couple of palisades. Generally, the Roman marching forts had 4 entrances. I think I'm correct in saying. We set up on a night at the end of marching, disassemble. Everybody knew what they were doing, so the palisades couldn't make that bigger. But anyway, that's the launch. Pre-orders are up now. Released in July, so it gives you a bit to think about what you want, or if you want to jump on now. Yeah, I definitely want the Hannibal box. Definitely pick up the commanders, and I'll see where I go from there. So yeah, delighted with the launch. Looking forward to painting up more epic battles. I've been a wargamer now since 1990, so it's at 34 years, and nothing has caught my attention like the epic battles range. So yeah, look forward to getting another scale, another period I love. Yeah, so let me know what your plans are for epic battles now you've seen the launch, and I look forward to chatting to you about it again in another video. Yeah, so that's bye for now. Goodbye.